Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about my top 5 tips to make the best budget ever. And I am so excited because this is a collab with the one and only Kate Kayden. Kate's channel is called Kate Kayden Making Frugal Living Fun. And I can't think of a better name for her channel, honestly, because that's exactly what she does. You watch one of her videos and I guarantee you, you're going to binge watch them all. She loves to make videos about minimalism, frugal living, and of course my 2 favorite topics, saving money and budgeting. So if you're not familiar with Kate's channel, I'm gonna leave her channel link down below. Please go check her out and tell her that I sent you. And if you're from Kate's channel, hi, welcome. My name is Debbie. I love sharing tips on how to save time and money, and I hope you enjoy my channel and you subscribe. So with all that said and done, let's get started with my top 5 tips. So in order to make the best budget you've ever been able to make, you really need to stay away from budget blunders. And those are things that can sneak up on you and really sabotage your budget. So my first tip has to be ATM fees. I'm always surprised when I'm helping our clients out with creating their budget, how much they accumulate each month in ATM fees. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot to them because they're using their ATM card at another bank's ATM, not where they bank. So because of that, the bank that they're using is gonna charge them a fee. Normally, it's between $5 and $6 I've seen. But I understand if you're using another bank's ATM because they have no loyalty to you. You're not a customer to that. But what really gets to me is that then your own bank is going to also charge you a fee because you use another bank's ATM. Why? Why are you doing that? I bank with you. I understand the other bank, but you? Really? So a transaction, no matter what the amount is going to cost you between $7 and $8.50 in the United States, between both banks charging you ATM fees for taking out your own money. I've seen people in their budgets have over $200 a month in ATM fees, and they don't even know it. And why? Because they're not checking their statements. It is so important to be careful about small transactions, as you're gonna see with the rest of my tips, because as I've always said on my channel, small transactions, small amounts can add up to a huge amount, whether it's savings or whether it's fees that are really going to bust your budget. So if you want to try to take any of these tips that I have, I would really suggest start with your ATM fees. And in that aspect, do my tip number 2, which is to plan ahead. By planning ahead and knowing how much cash you're going to need on hand for the week, take it out one time. Take it out from your own branch. And that way you can avoid any further fees from hitting your account. So as I mentioned before, my second tip is to plan ahead. Planning ahead is so important. For example, I've seen so many of our clients come and say, you know, I was credit card debt free, but then Christmas came and I'm like, dun, dun, dun. Did Christmas fall on July or June or August? No, Christmas is in December. So if you know, obviously you're gonna shop for the holidays, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday, plan ahead. What I did was I looked at the year that we spent the most money on Christmas, which was 2 years ago. And so I took that amount of money, and that doesn't just include gifts. We take an annual trip to New York and we do all the festive things that you could do in New York, look at the Rockefeller tree and everything else. This was of course before the quarantine. So what I did was I took everything into account, you know, our cab rides, our train ticket, you know, the meal that we have at our favorite restaurant, the pictures with Santa, of course, every gift we got our family and friends, the Christmas cards that we sent out to our loved ones, all of those I added together and I came up with a specific number. Now that number, what I did was I divided it per paycheck. But it's not just the holiday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, people that you love's birthdays. By planning ahead, you won't be surprised when the next holiday or special event comes. You'll be prepared and you'll have that money available so it doesn't bust your budget. Now, number 3 kind of ties in with number 2 a little bit. Number 3 are sinking funds. Now, I believe in keeping things simple when it comes to your budget. And I know some people, they have all these sinking funds and all these checking accounts. And it just, to me, if you know yourself, which is so important when it comes to finances, by knowing yourself, you know how you are with money. For example, if something is too complicated, I know that I am going to procrastinate it. And the next thing you know, it'll be a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks. And I've been pushing it off, making every excuse possible as to why I don't have time to tackle this task. So when it comes to finances, I know that if I keep it simple, I'm gonna succeed. So sinking funds for me are really important. And I have 3 of them. And I know I just said, like, don't complicate things, but we have our checking account, we have our emergency fund, and we have 3 sinking funds. Hear me out. One of the biggest pet peeves that I have, and to me, it's a budget buster, is whenever my husband takes our cars to get an oil change. That's what he'll tell me. And he knows I'm gonna get frustrated, because I know it's not going to be a $30 to $50 to $60 charge. No, it's going to be, oh, your car needs a tire rotation. Oh, you need this fluid. And oh, did you know your brake pads are low? And oh, guess what? Like, you need this and you need that and you need this. But again, a $30 to $50 or $60 charge for an oil change will turn into a $500 or $400 transaction. And that drives me insane because I didn't plan for it. So instead, in order to avoid that frustration with my budget, because again, I want to keep it fun and I want to keep it exciting and I want to keep it simple, what I do is I set up a sinking fund. So it's a savings account that's linked to my checking account, and we get paid bi-weekly. So with every paycheck, I take a certain amount, it's not much, and I throw it at that sinking fund. And then when he's ready to take the cars because they need it for an oil change, and we have 2 cars, I know that whatever amount he texts me and tells me it's going to cost, I'm not going to be clawing the walls going, no, why? I'm going to say that's fine because we planned ahead, we have our sinking fund, and it's right there. The second sinking fund that I have is for Christmas, like I just told you before. And the third sinking fund is for fun. It's for Disney. By having something fun in my budget, I know that it motivates me to save even more money. And next time that I'm tired and we're gonna order a pizza, I'm like, no, I have something in the fridge. I can make something to eat because that money that I was gonna spend on the pizza, guess where it's gonna go? Into the Disney fund, of course. And that way, it motivates me to see that number get higher and higher and higher. It motivates me to be frugal, to do everything I can to save money, and every extra cent goes into that account. So sinking funds are definitely a way to motivate you to keep budgeting, to avoid any budget busters, and to be successful with money. My 4th budget buster to avoid is not planning for extra cash. Now I know what you're thinking, like, Debbie, it's extra cash. Why would it bust my budget? Aha! It'll bust your budget because for me, I feel like you're kind of setting yourself up for sabotage. It's self-sabotage. Let me explain. So whenever you're thinking that you're gonna get extra cash, for example, a holiday bonus, your tax refund, a stimulus payment, even birthday money, holiday money, any extra cash that is going to touch your bank, plan ahead. What's the next thing you're going to tackle? What's the next financial obstacle that you have? Do you have credit card debt? Throw it at your credit card debt. Do you not have enough money in savings? Throw it at your savings. Are you trying to accumulate an emergency fund? Guess what I'm going to say? Throw it at the emergency fund, right? If you're planning for your 529s, your retirement accounts, you're trying to tackle your mortgage, you want to plan for a vacation. By planning ahead and immediately when that money touches your bank account, moving it over to wherever you want to tackle, whatever financial goal you want to crush, then you do that, right? Because by having it sit in your checking account, the chances of you thinking of a way to spend it when it's not going to where it needs to go, that's self-sabotage. So plan ahead, and that's how you succeed and you avoid any budget busters. And my last tip is to watch out for small transactions. Now, I know I mentioned ATM fees as my number one, and that's because that's a beast on its own and that can really bust your budget. Small transactions can do the same thing. The smallest thing, a lottery ticket, a cup of coffee. Now, I'm not telling people who love cups of coffee not to get your coffee, but I want to show you an example of what I mean. I had a coworker, and at the end of the year, we got our last pay stubs. And she looked at it and she says to me, I wonder where my money goes. Like, I don't see that I made this much this year. And I said to her, you want to play a game? And she was like, okay. So I took out my phone, I swiped up, I grabbed my calculator, and I said, those fancy cups of coffee that you drink every day, how much are they? And she's like, $5. Okay, how many times a week do you drink it? And she's like, well, I use it for work, so Monday through Friday. Perfect. So I put on my calculator, $5 times 5 days a week, right? $25. Do you ever miss a week? And she's like, no, I love that coffee. I'm like, okay. So I took that $25 and I multiplied it by 52 weeks in the year. $5 a day is $1,300 at the end of the year. But my point is, small amounts add up. So my coworkers eat lunch out at least, I'm gonna say once or twice a week. And they spend $13 a day. Now, I'm not criticizing them at all. But since I'm trying to continue to crush my money goals and save for our vacation, I try to avoid it as much as I can. So what I did for extra motivation is I took a picture of the Disney castle, because of course, not only did we go to Disney 2 years ago, but we're really saving up to try to go again next year. Is I took that picture and I put it on the monitor at work. So anytime that they say, hey Debbie, you want to order out? I just look at that picture and I'm like, no, I'm good. Because I have a goal in mind and I have a visual cue where that's going to help me save even more money. So if you're tempted by vending machines at work or ordering out or getting that extra cup of coffee, have a visual of something that you want to achieve financially. And that'll help you say, no, I'm good, thank you. So those are my top 5 tips to help you make the best budget ever and avoid those budget blunders. Kate, again, thank you so much for doing this collab with me. If you like this video, please click the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.